Welcome back to Cinemaflix Music Picks. I'm Davey, your host of the most, the beast with the least. Least we can do today is continue on with the album series, looking back at the albums that were in the year that was 2022. So, we shall continue indeed with a bit of a detour south of the equator, down Africa way, with one of Africa's modern geniuses, paying tribute to one of Africa's original musical geniuses in a world sense. So this is the album by Somi, and it is, you need to forgive my pronunciation throughout this video because there are words in all sorts of languages that are Zenzile, the Reimagination of Miriam Makeba. So I got Miriam Makeba right because people know Miriam Makeba. For people that don't know Miriam Makeba, Miriam was the first breakout South African musician in the mid-60s. Did protest stuff about the apartheid era once she was able to use her fame, but in South Africa itself, obviously that would have gotten her into a lot more bother, so there was a lot more things that were in common with African American traditions, where, because it was a similar type of oppression really, where it was gospel songs and it was folk songs. So Miriam would be doing House of the Rising Sun and Gospel Plough and these kind of things. Paul and Silas with that as Gospel Ploughs and just a different name. But these ancient songs of the soil kind of thing. And then when she was able to use her fame, won a Grammy even, use her fame, she would call it the apartheid regime. And Somi, who's become one of these talents that makes you think, wish I had one talent, never mind all those. But Somi is, I think this is her British 7th album, but she's obviously a musician. She's a great songwriter herself. She's a writer, as in a playwright. She acts and has hair like that. So come on, and dress sense like that. Just one talent, please. One. I'll find it one day. But that, as I say, is all window dressing. That's your backstory. So Somi wanted to pay tribute to Miriam, who inspired her. I mean, she mentions she never met Miriam, never overlapped, but she always felt like she was somehow a mentor as an African woman herself, not a South African, but as an African woman herself. She felt that Miriam inspired her, and she was her kind of northern star, and what she does here is, as it says on the cover, reimagines the works of Miriam Makeba. What you will find here is that a lot of the pieces are quite different to Miriam's versions if you were to listen to them side by side, but a lot aren't. So she does House of the Rising Sun on here, and that's very faithful, because Miriam's version was already very faithful to Odeta's version. So, swings and roundabouts. But then when you get on to tracks like Pata Pata, which is one of Miriam's songs from the early 60s, but that was one of her hits, really kind of major hits. She slows it down. So Somi slows it right down, and instead of just doing the song, intercuts it with speeches and dialogue from Miriam to about the apartheid regime and about state of affairs as was, and gives a real powerful sense of history. So it's not a covers album, it is, but it's not. It's more powerful than that. It's an examination of a life. It's a reimagination, exactly as it says in the tin. In other places like Malele, Seo Kuti is on it, and Seo Kuti is son of Fela Kuti, one of the major stars of Afrobeat, one of the major stars, and that in contrast is sped up here. and we're given quite a different version. So some things are slowed down, some things are sped up, some things are done faithfully. We have the stunning Love Tastes Like Strawberries. Gregory Porter's on this, and it is like silk. It is like silk wrapped in satin on a bed of linen. It's definitely going to be one of the tracks down below. And it's a who's who of African names. I mean, to be predictable, if I asked the man in the street, name an African act, who would they probably say first? Ladysmith, Black Mambazo? Yeah, they are on here. Okay, I'll give them that. But you also have one of the goddesses, Angelique Kidjo. That woman. She does, and again, this is where I do beg your pardon for the pronunciation, but she is on Jiki Lemawene. Jiki Lemawene. See, percussively when they're singing it, Jiki Lemawene, it sounds great, but to say it in a Scottish accent doesn't roll off the tongue terribly well. Same goes for Lakshon Alanga. Sorry. But then, yeah, so you get a combination of these pieces that are Miriam originals, Odile, Mbolela, Hapo Zamani, and then you get the cover tracks that she kind of popularised, and Ring Bell, Ring Bell. You also get Nduzo Makithini on here, so it really is. In fact, Anthandiswa Mazawi. Sorry about the pronunciation. I always feel embarrassed. Why am I embarrassed? People get my name wrong all the time. Hello, Gallagher. No, the second G's silent. It's Gallagher. Nobody apologises to me. Well, I suppose I didn't go through apartheid, really. Oh, well. No, I can't really put myself up there with Steve Biko and the oppression stakes. No, sorry. Speaking of Steve Biko, Angelique Kidjo did a version of Biko last year, or 2 years ago now, I keep forgetting we've had a new year, with Peter Gabriel. Worth checking out. I won't put it below because I want to give you a good few tracks here. I want to put 3 down, I think, in this one. Because, first of all, it's a long album. It's about an hour and 15. So it uses up most of the CD. So it would be a double album, and a full double album at that. And there are 17 tracks. So it's dense, it's vast, it's expansive. But I think when you're celebrating a life, that's fair enough. And especially such a life. It's like when Springsteen did the Seeger sessions, These are the liner notes from Somi. For as long as I can remember, I've known Miriam Makeba's voice. As a result, I feel like I've known her personally. She's familiar and warm. I won't read you the whole thing. A compass, what did I say about a North Star? A space maker, the original African superstar. Her message of social justice and the humanity of black lives will encourage us today. This project is about honouring the vast and immeasurable contribution she made to popular folk and jazz music on behalf of our people and the continent. And it does go on from there. And I don't want to cut her off, but buy the album and read the rest. It's a taste. So, just if any of this that I'm going to stick below sounds of interest to you, just don't treat this as this can be my one world album. That's not the way to look at it. It is one fantastic artist with this gorgeous voice. She soars in this beautiful high voice, paying tribute to an icon of resistance and of music. There's no better reason, really. It kind of appeals to me on so many different levels, musically, politically, emotionally. Plus, when you stick Angelique Kidjo in there, it always can appeal to me anyway. I love that one. She's an angel. So well recommended. Here you go. So once more is Somi Zenzile, the Reimagination of Miriam Makeba. Oh, just please forgive my pronunciations again. I took French for 6 years, but this is like real dense stuff, man. I can't do this. I'm sorry. I've barely got the hang of English. See, but I barely got English is just about manageable for me now, so forgive me if I can't pronounce too much from Africa, which shamefully, because we're all from Africa originally, that's where we all come from. So so one African icon de jour. Oh, see, I told you to take French. Paying tribute to the original musical icon to come out from Africa. So those names that I rhymed off: Ladysmith, Black Mambazo, and Angelique Kidjo, and you can add like Usu Ndur. Anybody who's transferred over into the world mainstream, they can all thank Miriam for that. She was the first to do that from anywhere in Africa, not just from apartheid South Africa, from anywhere in Africa. And again, the music's so good too. The quality of musicianship, the piano playing on this is stunning, breathtaking. The full sound, the full arrangements, everything doesn't feel like, right, let's jump into the studio and record a quick tribute. It's Hervé Sam is on piano, I believe. Yeah, Hervé Sam. Hervé Sam, because he's got an E acute on her. So, Hervé Sam. The piano's wonderful in this. It's some of the best jazz piano you're going to hear, and it's always tasteful too. It's never done in a what I like to call a Jules Holland style, where he thinks there's nothing that can't be improved by a quick bit of Jelly Roll Morton. Yeah, bless him. But anyway, yeah, again, a difficult one for me to describe, because first of all, I can't get my name around the pronunciations, and also it's a world record in a lot of different ways. It's a record of the world as was, and a world that unfortunately hasn't changed as much as we like to think it has. But on top of that, it's fantastic music. So please check out some of the tracks below. I know this will be one of the lowest viewed videos. I just know it, because it's not the fucking Scorpions. But if you're kind enough to check it out and check the tracks below, let me know what you think. And bless you for watching. Bless the ones that do watch. And heaven help us all. That's Stevie Wonder. Heaven help us all. Until next time, stay very safe out there. Whatever content you may reside in, we're all citizens of this good earth. And love and mercy.